What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chelsea Career Mode. This is Season 2, Episode 3. And if you guys have been enjoying it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. It means a lot to me and it supports the channel loads. See if we can get 3 likes on this episode. It'll be massive support. But yes, we are back into the Champions League. Chelsea are, after despite a very 2 seasons of really bad performances, we are back into the Champions League. I do want to show you guys one quick thing. I have tweaked the sliders a little bit, quite a lot actually, because as you guys do know, in career mode, it's just there's too many games that are like 5-4, 3-2, or they're just not as realistic. So I have tweaked the sliders, and oh boy, sliders for me, they just feel really good. And every game I play now, it just feels so realistic. It's not like 5-2 every game. It's more of a struggle to score, let's just say like that. But it's more realistic, and you know, the scorelines will be sometimes, if you're playing a team that you should be dominating, okay, it could be maybe a 4-5-0 win, but it's not going to be like that every single game. So I'm quite excited to test out these sliders. I have played with them a little bit, but we're gonna truly test them out here in this episode. So I have left them there just before so you guys can view them. But if you guys can just pause it at any time if you guys wanted to copy them down, because those are legendary difficulty sliders, so I've just adjusted them as well. But we've got Champions League football back at Stamford Bridge, and I'm very excited for this one. Unfortunately, we have a few players that are having to be brought down to the reserves and the substitute bench due to fitness issues. But we still have quite a strong squad, as Osimhen is going to lead the line and Eljif Elmas behind him against their former club Napoli in Italy. It's going to be interesting to see how these two perform against their former club, as you know, they've done a lot for them, but you know, Victor Osimhen having a little issue at the end of his Napoli career here in this save. So yeah, Wesley Fofana is going to lead us out into the Champions League, and Stamford Bridge is absolutely going to be rocking tonight for some Wednesday night football at England back here. And hopefully the board does want me to reach the final. Hopefully my goal is, because I don't think that's too realistic with this squad right here, but my goal would be to maybe get into the quarterfinals, semi-finals, around that stage. But we don't have too hard of a group, so yeah. Back into the Champions League, obviously Napoli quite a good team, making a few replacements from Osimhen and all those players. But yeah, Napoli go out showing their guns and get quite a decent grip on the game, but we get a little bit lucky there with a little, don't know, the ball was just bobbling around in this game here inside the box. So we managed, Eljif Elmas managed to score against his former club to make it 1-0, and we head into the lead. Victor Osimhen was feeling a bit kind there. I'm not sure what type of shot animation that was. Could have made it 2-0 just before the first half would end. But in the back end of the first half, the Georgian master, Kvaratskhelia, I'm just going to call him the Wi-Fi password, Kvaratskhelia manages to pull his side back into the game and levels it 1-1 just before the half time. But yeah, nothing much is going to happen during that period of time, and it's going to end the first half in a quite entertaining first half display from both teams. It's going to be 1-1, and Enzo Fernandez did pick up a slight knock there in this matchup here against Napoli. So we're gonna put on Romeo Lavia, who's gonna get his first Champions League debut. Lots of these players here are gonna make their Champions League debuts as Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah, Sanchez, Romeo Lavia, Moses Caicedo as well, making all their Champions League debuts. So it's going to be, it was an interesting first half, 45 minutes of display out from the men, but we were able to grapple on for a few more minutes, and then in the second half, just before the game was coming to a close, Victor Osimhen had the ball on the right hand side and squared it over to Noni Madueke had the ball on the right hand side and squared it to Victor Osimhen, who both players, former Napoli players, getting the goal here. So yeah, it was great to see both the former players getting their goals against their former club, and this match here ended in a 2-1 victory at Stamford Bridge. So a great first result here against Napoli in the Champions League, back in the Champions League, and we are on top of the ladder. Enzo Fernandez is only out for 8 days, so he'll miss our next match. Christopher Nkunku has came here and submitted a transfer request due to him being very unhappy with his play time. I've tried to remove him, but obviously you can't when a player's submitted a transfer request. He's such a great player. I'm not sure why he has submitted transfer request. He's basically played every single match so far, but the only reason he didn't play last match was due to fitness issues. But yeah, I don't want to let him go. If we have to let him go, I'll let him go. But I'm just not gonna let him go. That's the end of the story. But yes, he's been playing a lot recently, so I'm gonna give him more chances. But yeah, I'm not sure why he's complaining too much about it due to him being. He is a starter. Don't get me wrong, he hasn't played football for 7 months last season. He did miss a lot of football due to an ACL injury, so he has been set back a lot, unfortunately, to injury. But up next, we've got Norwich. So it's not going to be an easy game here, as the newly promoted Norwich City at Carrow Road. We're going to go there and try and get a great result, or maybe a very convincing result. As you guys seen there, Nicholas Jackson is going to start ahead of Osimhen. He's going to get his chance. He had a very big chance there to score, and so did this man, Christopher Nkunku. Had a massive chance, but fortunately enough for him, 15 minutes later or so, he had another chance just like before, and he managed to take us in the lead in the 30th minute. He took it around the defence and smashed it past the keeper. So yeah, great finish from Christopher Nkunku, and great to see our team and the group of lads doing very, very well here in the first half, despite, few team changes and, rough patches here. But we're going to try and close this game out, hopefully with a more than a 1-0 lead. Nicholas Jackson missing an absolute great chance there to put us 2-0 up, and yeah, we're going to make some substitutes now, as Noni Madueke is going to give way for Marcus Edwards on that right hand side, and Wesley Fofana is going to come on for Axel Disasi, and Romeo Lavia is going to come on in the final half an hour. But we couldn't find the back of the net. No teams really showed too much in that second half, but we were managed to close the game out to make it a 1-0 victory against Norwich, and quite a convincing victory on stats, but not really on the score sheet. So we'll have to improve that quite a lot. So yeah. Next game up is going to be the Carabao Cup against Tottenham, a London derby. Unfortunately, we did get drawn against every other team. We get drawn against Tottenham, one of the hardest teams to come up against in the first round. So we're going to come in this game with quite a rotated team. Will, Gusto, Gallagher, Lavia, Jackson to start once again, 2 matches in a row against Spurs. So we're going to try and see if we can maybe snatch a result here. But of course, I will be trying to, get as far into this competition as we can. But our main focus will probably be Champions League, Premier League, and the FA Cup. I do want to try and win the FA Cup, so that will be our main goal if we do not pass Tottenham Hotspur here. But in this first half, Spurs came out with probably their best team, I would like to say. Heung-min Son with a great finish there. It was a great team goal, and Postecoglou coming out here with, gotta say, probably one of their best teams. We came here with quite a rotated side to give some players a rest and to give some other players a chance. But yeah, we still had the likes of Nkunku, Sanchez, and Marcus Edwards and that all in the starting 11. But yeah, first half would go in a 1-0 direction to Tottenham Hotspur, and it just did not come any better for us as Spurs. Kulusevski puts them in the lead and makes it 2-0 for them in the second half very early on. And yeah, it wasn't a great start to this second half. If we were going to sort of make a comeback, but it just went from bad to worse really, as Richarlison comes in and scores a goal for Spurs, and it was going to end just like that. It was going to end 3-0 Spurs, and just like that we're out of the cup, Carabao Cup. Not too frustrated of that result, but a bit disappointed on the players' behalf, not able to get back into the game. But anyway, we've got Sheffield United, who did survive the Premier League last season, and now we come up against them, and we've got them at home, hosting them, Sheffield United. Obviously, we can beat this team. So yeah, we know we've got the quality over Sheffield, but can we capitalise on the lower teams? We are coming off a 3-0 loss to Spurs, but can we turn that around with with the momentum change in the Premier League? We've been quite consistent with, I think, sat at 7th position, but it's very early on to navigate what's going on so far. But it was a great start to this first half, as Nkunku, the man who is unhappy with the club, makes it 1-0, and he's been a great player for us so far this season in the Premier League. He's had a great start to the season, but just like that, the first half ends, and it's going to be a 1-0